When the solar guys were here, they were digging the trench for the solar panels, and also we put this water line in the trench. So this has been sitting open since then. And today I'm going to go ahead and put in my faucet. This is a frost-free, what do they call it? Hydrant is what they call it. So I'm going to put this down in the trench. And in a regular faucet, the valve is up here, and it looks like it's up here in this faucet or hydrant, but really the valve is all the way down here, and there's just a rod that operates the valve. So the valve that could freeze stays underground where it doesn't freeze. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna dig out the trench a little bit because some dirt's falling down into it, and start installing this thing. Later, the water that's gonna be supplying this is gonna come from just runoff from the house. We're gonna recycle our water that comes through our gutters. So I'm gonna put a water tank up at the house, and then that'll just flow down here, and that should give us a little bit of water pressure, because all we're gonna use it for is maybe watering the chickens, bringing water to animals, and we won't have to go all the way up to the house every time. We'll have something that's a little closer to the field and have a chance to reuse. You know, we want to be as self-sufficient as possible on some of these things, and not just be using electricity for water and all that. I'm gonna get a bigger shovel and we'll fill this in and get it all steady. So, a sad story that I wasn't planning to mention. I wasn't gonna put it in the videos, but I just decided, you know, a lot of people want to see what's going on the farm, good or bad. So this little chicken has gone blind somehow. We think, I don't know if it's mites. It seems to have had some mites, and we put some, I don't know, we treated that, but I think the chicken had already gone blind. The other chickens were mistreating it. So it's been living in this little box in our garage, staying a little bit warmer than the other chickens. Put it out in the sun. Lately we've put it out here and we've just been covering it up at night. But we can't have blind chickens. We can't have chickens that are just gonna have a miserable life living for years and years as pets. So today she's gonna leave us. We're gonna put her down, and of course that I'm not gonna put that on video, but part of the reason I'm fixing the faucet out there is to have a place, you know, it's a hole that we have to fill in anyway. So we're just gonna bury her out there for now, because we just don't have, later when we have a compost pile or something like that, you know, then we would have a way to dispose of an animal that would be productive to the farm. But so far, that's just the best solution I have, is just to bury her while we're filling in another hole. And she'll be deep enough in the ground, other animals and stuff won't come and try to dig her back up again. So it's a sad day. I don't know what that is about chickens attacking the injured or attacking the ones that are struggling. Strange. That's not part of the normal pecking order that I know about, but we're learning. I'll let the rain work on that a little bit and push it down some, and I'll come fill it in some more when it's more naturally packed down. Also, I need to get the tractor and push that load of dirt closer to the hole. Doing the whole thing with the shovel is pretty tedious. So especially in this cold weather, we've been having some tabs breaking off the feeder, or the waterer. This is the tab that's supposed to be there, and here's the one missing. There's another one missing. So I think with all the ice that we're getting built up and stuff, we're sometimes breaking off these tabs and having problems. So today we got some metal ones, and well, not just because they're metal, but I think the metal's going to be more durable. But we also got a heated base to put them on to keep them from freezing. Last night was 16 degrees, I think. So they freeze pretty solid, and they're kind of hard to, especially the plastic ones, are kind of hard to get the giant block of ice out of them and get them ready for more water. This kind also, the top pulls off, so you can just pour the water in the top. These, you pour the water in and you flip them upside down. This one, you can just set it on the ground and pour a lot of water in there. So this one's 5 gallons. That's a lot better. That's the biggest one we had before, and it's about 2. So we'll also be able to leave more water for the chickens. Wow, took the whole bucket. Let's move that thing to a little bit flatter spot. Whoa, that thing's heavy. So, I've broken out some of my parts, and I'm starting to work on getting the wood boiler going, and I'm doing a little bit at a time, working my way towards there. It might take me 2 or 3 weeks to get all this done, hopefully sooner. This is a heat exchanger that's going to go in my furnace. So I have cut a hole up here above the air conditioner. They tell you to put it below, but there is no below. So I cut it up here. It's still in the airflow. It's going to be good. So now I'm just finished cutting some brackets that I'm going to put inside here to create a little shelf. Need to go in here to create a little shelf for it to sit on. I won't be able to get it all done today. You can see my little Ford emblem that I'm working on my garage wall. All the edges. These, I just wanted to do this blue smear in the background, and all this will get touched up and painted as I go along. I got a little bit of a start on that. I think we'll see that again later sometime. I like it. I guess that's what counts, right? Pulled it back out again. I'm realizing that these edges in the corners back here are keeping it from pushing in all the way. I tried hammering them this way, but it's not sliding in completely. So now, just like this little lip is here for it to sit on, I'm gonna do a little lip across the back, and that will help seal it up. If it doesn't push all the way in, the air will go around the back of it. So I'm gonna put another little lip back there and tape it in real good to make sure that all the air goes through the radiator looking part of this. As long as the air goes through here, we're getting hot air. If it goes around the back, then it might go behind it easier than it goes through it, and we might only get maybe 2/3 of the hot air or 3/4 of the hot air or something like that, and it won't be completely effective. So it's another day for short sleeves and no coat after having all that snow, after having 16-degree weather that I thought had damaged some pipes, but fortunately it didn't. I'm putting back together the exhaust for the furnace. I'm elbowing around the place where my pipe is going to go into my heat exchanger. So instead of having a straight pipe, I'm going around out of the way. So I'm piecing all these pieces together. So I fitted them all together to see if they're going to work. And now I'm doing the final gluing. This PVC primer. Put the primer on first, and then the glue. So there we go. Pipe is going around so that this is clear to attach to. That's it. Now I gotta move on to the next stuff. These pipes will be attaching to these. The flow, I got arrows written on them. The flow coming in will go to the bottom. The water coming out will go to the top connector, and then it'll cruise on up to the attic where it'll go to the heat exchanger in the attic furnace.